What's up, everybody? Good to be back. What can I say? Um, yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for checking it out. Really glad to have you as always. Channel's growing, things are going well. My game's in a good spot. I'm excited about this video. As you saw from the title, the thumbnail, what have you, this is just a commentary video for playing in a mini tournament in Las Vegas during the Pool Player Championships. I was preparing for the Masters division, and I thought this would be a good way to sort of get in stroke the day before the competition. So we'll just jump right into it. This ends up being kind of a long match, so stay with me. But I played against a gentleman who was identified as a skill level 8 uh, and makes just a bunch of them on the break here. I'm going to do my best with the scorekeeping. I haven't done nine ball in quite a while. In fact, I vowed to never play APA nine ball straight up again, but here we are. So three on the break for him, and like I said, I'll do my best with the scorekeeping here. And I'm pretty confident that things get a little wonky with the scorekeeping during this match. So we'll see if it actually lines up with what we thought was happening at the table. But interesting gentleman here, can definitely play. I was feeling pretty good coming into this. Had played a couple sets the night before, got in a few days early just to kind of get in stroke. Hung out with Drew a little bit, which was fun. Shout out to Drew. And for those of you who were able to catch the streams, thank you for watching that, first of all. The connection seemed like it was working much better this year than last year, which was really great. Um, really good engagement on the streams, on the live streams. So right out of the gate, there's no jump cues allowed in standard APA League. I do end up jumping a ball, I think, at some point in this match with my playing cue. So make a good hit, super thin. I was kind of lining it up for the side pocket, but maybe just hit it a little too firm. So at a slower speed, that'll open up a little bit more for you. So yeah, like I said, felt pretty good coming into this. Wanted to see if I could just snap off a mini win. They're such small brackets for the most part. It's usually just 8 players, 8 to 16 players. So they can go pretty quick. And this was the higher skill level division, so it's just eights and nines. I think he was taking a swing at the 2-8 there. A little hard to tell. And he puts me in sort of a weird position. Hopefully my whiteboard, yeah, my whiteboard is still going to work. I might be able to get around that 8 ball, rail first into the 2. And the other thing is, I realize the quality is not going to be great. This is going into post, pulling my live stream, which is a vertical live. So different orientation, taller than it is wide. And then having to strip that away, cut out some of this, you can even see on the right here. eh, It's like kind of slanted. Um, so yeah, we give up ball in hand here. We're going to lose a few more points, unfortunately. But yeah, I had to sort of cut down the original source video, stretching it a little bit. It's going to appear somewhat pixelated, but you guys are all pool players. You know what the balls are. You know where they go. Kind of a tough setup here in the first rack for me. He makes a bunch on the break and then plays a good safe. He does effectively hide me behind the 8. And he really just has to figure out the 4 to the 5. Could be a little tricky. But I imagine he'll probably shape the 4 in the bottom left corner. Yeah, he doesn't want to get too straight on the 4 ball. Looks like he has just a little bit of an angle to work with. Realistically, here, if you wanted to play conservative, you would just pocket the 4, stay in this area, and then go for a safe again on the 5. But I noticed that Christian's kind of a bit more of an aggressive player. So yeah, he's going to try to wrap around. Plays good shape and good speed, mostly. Gets a little funny on the 5, kind of a steep back cut here. Hard to tell if he'll end up going into the 9 or getting above the 9. But here again, as long as you avoid a scratch, there's a big window for the 6, right? Anywhere up here, you're going to have a good look at the 6. So if he'll focus on making the 5, he has a pretty good chance of dropping on the 6 somehow. Yeah, he went pretty full into the 9, does put the 5 down. scoring convention for nine ball and APA. Each ball's worth a point. The nine ball's worth 2 points. If you sink a ball and foul, that is there's no points awarded for that. Ball stays down. Pretty straightforward here. I think kind of thin cut on the six to come back around the eight. Depending on where the six goes in the pocket, he could shape this pretty neatly. Just a speed control thing. Yeah, it comes pretty tight around the eight. Looks good. This is a good match to settle the nerves because, not to give anything away, but Christian ends up coming out of the gate pretty strong and obtains a commanding lead. And then I have to kind of fight my way back. But I found that it was really good for just my mental. And this is well played. I like to come back up above this ball for the side. Overhits it just a little bit, but just the first rack here of the set. And so you're still trying to get your speed dialed in. But if you guys have been following the channel, especially just this last year, mental game is so much of what I've been working on. Lots of different strategies. I've talked about them here on the channel, and I'll continue to talk about them because I love talking about them. But doesn't make a ball. Christian's also very hand flippy, which is, it's kind of a funny thing to watch. Three, four, five, six, seven, eight. He did make one on the break. There's a point. Working so much on my mental game this year and really pulling out some satisfying wins. I'll just say satisfying because, there were some real battles in the regular season. It was cool for my team to be able to make it through and to get out here to Vegas. When you're playing in this Masters division, these are the best of the best, right? These are all of the best amateur teams in their areas competing against all of the other best players. And most of those teams, you're you're unlikely to see players in the 500 Fargo range. There might be one on the roster, two on the roster, depending on where the team is from. Uh, but if there's serious competition in their area, you're looking at 600s, maybe one 700. The really stacked teams are going to have multiple 700s. Those are rare. A lot of the teams we came up against were 650s. Two or three of the people on their team were in that range. And so coming through normal season and then facing off against very strong players, very accomplished players, it just feels awesome. Like you have to be excited about that opportunity. You're going to feel nervous, you're going to feel intimidated, but can you construe that as excitement at the opportunity, right? Don't let uh, the intimidation factor get the better of you. Christian is lining up for a little break and run here. Pretty straightforward stuff, nothing crazy to commentate on. He just really has to get on the right side of the seven. Oh, he sort of threw himself at that one, but he is going to end up with a shot. A lot of body movement there, right? Really threw the cue at it. But basically, he'll just need to pop the seven in, let the cue ball drift over for the eight. These are easy. These can get away from you though. I misjudge them. Yeah, worried too much about holding for the eight. But he's got a bunch of points down, right? It's 16-0 coming up to the table with this deficit and the skill level difference, right? Theoretically, he's an eight in nine ball, and so I have to go to 66, as you can see on the scorecard there, and he has to go to 57. So pretty quickly, he's closing in on the halfway point in these first two racks. I have to make quite a shot on the seven ball. I'm flat on it. I do have a bit of an angle leading into this rail, but basically that means I have to try to come around and play short side on the eight. So I was scouting that out. I was seeing if I could draw off of this, but I'm not only on the rail, but there's a lot of distance to cover to get better on the eight. So I end up playing short side, smooth stroke to follow through, and this opens up really nicely. That's a good shot to settle. Another pressure shot here on the eight, right? We have to kind of float this one down. Luckily, I'm flat enough on the eight to where natural rolling cue ball, high ball, is going to take us down towards the top short rail there. Just ease that one down. Good speed. Oh, so I got 7, 8, and the nine's coming up here. Oh, no. 7, 8, 7, 8. Christian does this a lot. He'll get up on my shot. Not that it bothers me anymore, but it's just like a funny quirk. Because sometimes you play a money set or something, the person will like wave their cue, they'll tap the table, they'll stand up, they'll like sweep, like walk past the table to sweep to show you that they don't want you to shoot the shot. So I make a ball in the break. Bear with me here, guys. I'm very likely to make a mistake on the scorekeeping. Just haven't done it in a while. A little funny on the one here. It's very makeable. This is probably going to end up being pocket the one, except a look at the two. I don't think the two goes. Looks like the bit rate took a dive here, but I don't think the two goes in the corner. I'll have to end up getting a look at it and then playing safe. Maybe just send the two ball around up table and leave the cue ball behind the nine. Yeah, rolling into the eight. It's a good way to control the speed of the cue ball. You can shoot in the one instead of trying to roll it in. I remember him standing up on this, kind of looking over my shoulder to make sure that I was going to make a good hit. But this just isn't cuttable. So I end up trying to put him behind the nine. It's not a bad effort. Uh, just sort of slightly misjudged the cue ball track there. And simple safe's better than no safe, right? You've probably heard that before. I'd rather leave him long with not much of an available shot. Playing aggressive, he could certainly try to bank this down here. Not sure there's much of a reward for that. I don't know. I don't know what he tried there. He catches a roll though. I remember it was behind the six, artfully. And usually I trust my Masse touch, but I remember this feeling a little funny. It's just a lot of distance. Ball's pretty small from far away. And I figure, hey, it's early in the match. I want to get a feel for this. I haven't hit one of these in a while. I'm just gonna playing cue, jump this guy. And it's just a portion of the six, so nothing crazy. But boom, look at that. Those feel pretty good, right? Hop over the six. Got the footage there. Maybe somebody interrupted us or something. Or the stream dropped. I don't remember. Should be able to just float down here for the five, natural two rails to open it up. Always use that second rail. You certainly can just come off the short rail towards the five, but man, it is a game changer to use that second rail to open up the angle. This is kind of the key shot, right? You need to be below the six so that you can get up on the seven. And I go to the wrong side of it. So I'm too high on the six. Like I needed to be kind of down here so that when you play the six, the cue ball wants to track towards the seven. And now I just have a bit more work to do. I can roll through into here and accept a long cut on the seven, which is, or come back around, which is a lot of cue ball movement. You're going to have to go here, 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 and back out and up. Maybe I'm thinking I can draw off of it. Yeah, it just didn't cooperate. Kind of bobbled into the side, so I did not hit it pure. And the cue ball path was wrong, so maybe just misjudged it, mishit it, bit of both. He's just got a high ball here. You want to maintain an angle on the seven so that you can come in towards the eight. He's supposed to get out here. Yeah. Still enough of an angle on the seven to get over for the eight. In fact, being a little flatter on this is okay because you could just end up on the rail or maybe just a slight amount of angle off the eight. You can see he's still settling in a little bit. His natural tempo is probably a little quicker than this. A bit more of an aggressive player. Yeah, it's a nice touch. Just kind of ease that in. Hand flip though, you get straight on the 8. Very hand flippy. But yeah, in other news, I have moved. I'm in a different state now. I'm working on getting settled. You can probably tell my setup is a little different here. Devices are a little different, so we'll eventually get things back to what they were before. But for now, it's just an adjustment period. It's a little thin on the 9, but this is still very workable. There's really nothing to worry about with the cue ball. Just focus on your cut angle. The mechanics look good here, right? He looked at the back of the ball, he lined that up, he's getting down, staying still for the most part. No, he's kind of stood up on that, and he doesn't want to watch me shoot it. Take two. He's at 19. I'm at 11, kind of leveling things out a little bit, but I've got work to do to catch up. I'm using my new 9 ball break, and I know I've talked to some of you about doing a video on this. Uh, the to-do list is long, guys. I want to get there. I want to do it, but yeah, uh, moving and everything else kind of predominating right now. Scratch for me, Christian. Nope. 5-7 is tied up now. It appears. Have a good look at the 1. We're just sort of ducking behind the 2. Offense is tough here. You can try to bank it up towards the 8, but like, to what avail, right? I mean, maybe you get a look at the 2. Hard to hold the cue ball. I think the move is just play safe here. Easy touch, get him in. A little too full. Do not quite have a feel for it yet. I think my scorekeeping's accurate though, right? 3 racks, no dead balls. That one away, and he's got to look at the 2. I'm pretty sure hits the back side of it for the cut. Slightly awkward queuing over the 9, but should still be able to make this work. And there's a lot of space on the table that gives you a look at the 3. Nudge the 9 ball a little bit, but I don't know if either of us noticed it. And gets a little safe out of it. Jelly roll, they say. This was a little funny too. So this is part of why I'm not convinced that the scoring was accurate at the table. Oh, I checked with him. Um, we talked about this. Might have been part of why I cut the footage earlier. So I think at the beginning of the match, he I could have cut this out too to save you guys, but maybe I left it in on purpose. Who's to say why I do things? Uh, at the beginning of the match, he was like, "I need you to keep score. I don't know how to do it." It's like, okay, you're an 8. Anyway, like maybe that's true, right? We'll just give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's true. If that's the case, like the courtesy is that we can both be keeping score. Some people aren't going to mind, but at the end of the day, like scorekeeping is an additional task at the table, and we can share that responsibility. Like you and I we can do that together. You can figure that out, random guy. And so we had to have a little talk about that, and because it started to seem like, give me a roll, block him. All right, I'll take that. It started to seem like, so I was keeping score for him, giving him points for balls, and then it started to look like he might have been going back to give himself points. In fairness, he might not have known that I was giving him points for his balls. I don't know. It just started to seem a little weird, and so I had to have a conversation with him there about like, when I'm at the table, you mark up the ones that I make, and I'll trust you, and vice versa. Just a flaw in my game, I guess, that specifically for ball counting formats like APA 9 ball. All right, bad hit here. Where when I'm at the table, I'm not I'm not like counting my points, like I want to pay attention to all of the other actually important things like getting shape and playing good patterns and feeling good and managing mental and whatever else. So it'll get away from me, right? Like there might be times where I'll run 4 or 5 and play safe, something like that. And I'll get back and be like, I have no idea. And I have to try to count, but then I don't know how many he made. It's just a mess. One of the many reasons why I do not enjoy playing APA 9 ball. Interesting situation here, right? The two is clearly very makeable, but the three is weird. Maybe the 3-7 goes. Otherwise, I might just shape a safe. This is a nice play. It's kind of what I was talking about, not the second rail in this case, but playing into this rail to open up that angle and get tidier on the three. I'm going to attack this combo, which is aggressive, kind of ambitious here, early game. It's just so missable, man. Catch a roll here too, or do I give him a piece of the three? I think my dad was there watching, and I asked him if the guy gave me a point for the 2 ball. We end up figuring it out. Scorekeeping drama. Shout out to my dad and my mom. Had some family out there for Vegas. Take a little ball in hand here. Need some of these to get my game going. But it's just wonderful having friends and family there for events like this. Like feeling their support, feeling their excitement, uh, can really just like kind of add to the cumulative level of excitement if you let it, if you let that in. Just like generate more positivity. That's been so much of the mental game here this last year is just reframing things and trying to burn that as fuel instead of letting it overwhelm you and sabotage your game. We're just going to play kind of a little carom here. Nice into the 8. It would have been nice to have held the 3 for the top right. Now I'm looking at a pretty steep cut on this if I want to stay aggressive, which I think I do. I need points. Back cut this. You're almost always going to get a look at the 4. Cue this with low outside. That pretty good. Don't put me under the 6. Ugh, I think I'm okay. Yeah, I hit that pretty good. The speed was there too, right? Because I had to come out and back, and anywhere over here was going to be fine. Settle on this one though. Nice. Oh, I played down below the 6. Interesting. I guess that's good because you don't want to, 9 ball's such a stroke game. 8 ball's more of a pokey game. uh, Trying to hold it, right? Trying to hold that off the 4 up here just means you're not going to really be able to shoot it in as much. So I can stay below the 6. Same kind of idea as that previous rack where you want to be below that ball on the side so that you can roll up for the ball in the corner. But I'm going to come out and back. I remember this shape. Probably should have just eased it in. If I could have held it, if I could have held the cue ball over here, then I'm below the 6 and I can come out and up. But this particular shot, uh, pause it just briefly. This particular shot came up 3, 4 times before Masters play. And because I wasn't hitting it properly, spoiler alert, I ended up drilling this thing before Masters started. So what I'm looking at here is I want to power draw into the rail out and back to get around for the 7, which it's a big ask. Uh, but I know I can hit that shot. I know I've got the stroke for it. But the problem is, look at this weird kind of deflection. I almost fluke in the 6, but I just end up selling out this rack because I had to do something silly. So obviously the shape needed to be better, right? And wanted to at least have the confidence to know that if that shot comes up again, because it tends to, one that if it comes up, at least you recognize it and like, okay, this is an option. I can power draw off this, come 2 rails around. I know that I can do it. So I just had to get in there and put the reps in, right? Just kind of get consistent on that again. And I did. Practice really paid off there. So he eases in the six, doesn't leave himself a ton of angle on the seven, but I think has enough to sort of warp off this. He might be able to just draw in this way. Was he rolling through it? It's queuing high. That's pretty good. Good speed too. A lot of a lot of body. But look at the score line again, guys. I mean, he's yeah, like I said, closing in on halfway. Hand flip, hand flip. So that's a nine ball. Four, five, six, seven, eight. Two more for him. Just the nine ball, right? Four, five, six, seven, eight. Yeah. Seem to be questioning that a lot. Maybe he really doesn't know that much about APA nine ball. Possible. Oh, the other interesting thing, they had me come in as a nine, uh, which by rights I think I should be a nine at this point, but I've been an eight. Officially I am considered an eight, but I haven't played on an APA nine ball team in quite a while, over a year or two, I guess. And so I guess the league would just look at that and say he's probably a nine by now. There's somebody was trying to explain it to me, and I didn't fully catch the explanation, but there's something about the amount of time lapse between your last active play and a mini tournament. This is a tough part in this format. You can't jump and you can't push. So I have to make a good hit on this one ball. Otherwise, you're giving up ball in hand, and he's just going to grab a bunch more points. The kick is a little touchy here. Uh, you could certainly come two rails into it. So instead of just going into the long rail and into the one, you could, find that halfway point to here. Oops, sorry, these lines are bad. Here, 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 like this. Try to knock the one away from the cluster. Well, hook him in there. Hide him, do something to him. I mean, that's the play sometimes, right? Like just make something happen, hope for a roll. Um, Sometimes that's all you get. You've got to make a kick here, but this is a very hittable one ball. Oh, can't see it. I guess he got it. Yeah, the one ball moved, but I at least get a look at it. This should cut in the bottom left, and I might be able to float across for the two. Might be one of these. Cue ball comes off, and I float out. I could try to get down there for the two, but staying above it's probably safer for me. That's good shape. Kind of getting down below this, and I need to basically just stun off this and get above the three. Underhit that. I guess that wasn't so much of an underhit, but I cut it poorly. I needed to cheat the pocket a little better to get above the three. So I just play safe here. This is a game sometimes. I didn't have a great option. I could have attacked, I guess, with a bank. The bank was probably on, but no guarantee on the shape. And I need to take back some control, just strategically speaking, at this point. I need to give myself better opportunities. See if he plays safe or if he tries to just knock these around. Safe pace. Three's going to leak out a little bit. This cut's in the side. I could go for this. These are tough guys. This kind of shot, it's so important to practice. This is another thing where you look at the entry angle. If you aim to undercut it and it hits this point, then it sends it down table into no man's land. If you overcut it and it hits this point, it's more likely to line up and leave him something. But I do the wrong one after lining it up. He's got a good opportunity here. The four connects to the five. The six is hanging over the side. Really, the seven to the eight is the biggest ask here, and it's not even that bad. So a miss on the three ball is going to give away a bunch of points. Good play. Should just be stop shot, unless he wants to pinch off the six to get back onto this side of the seven. Player preference, I think. Oh, he came way back up here for no reason. He knew it too. As soon as he hit it, you could see him kind of like pull away in disgust. He's got a lot more work to do on the six now. It still works. I mean, you should still be able to thin this in and come across. Just need to make a better shot. Recovery. Pretty good angle on the seven to get up to the eight. Uh-oh. So that's a dead ball. He does not get that point. I get ball in hand, and I just have to solve the eight to the nine here. Yeah, just decide if you want to go above or below the side pocket. Use this angle to come into the eight like this. It wants to track towards the side pocket depending on that entry angle. But if you go into this rail first and down, helps to open it up a little bit and keep the cue ball safe. Meanwhile, I just go right right at the side pocket. Definitely should have gone above it. It's the second time in this rack where I lined up something on the side pocket and mishit it. Did I give myself that point? Let's track. Give myself those two. Honestly, don't know if I gave myself a point for the A ball or not. I get so caught up in just the game. I just don't want to pay attention to points, guys. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I made one ball on the break. Heading from the one to the two. So I get a pretty good look at the one. I could draw back towards the eight. That's my window here. If I'm staying aggressive, it's kind of getting it's thin. It's a thin window, but smooth draw gets you in there. If you have good kind of pinpoint, you could draw into the eight, like use the eight. Oh, I'm gonna go around it. That's lucky. I didn't really want to be on that side of the eight. Of course, that's there, right? But I didn't play for it. So top shot, pinch back. A little break and run would be really nice here. So let's float back out. Am I going to stay below the six or come up above the six? You want to come off like this, come around over here for the five on the side. Came out above it. A little high. That's okay. So the six plays in the right hand side. I need to go around. Am I going to try to shape a six? No. I'm looking at the six in the top left. What I'm looking at in the chair is get down below the six here for the six in the right hand side. Maybe I'm flatter on the five than I thought. Okay. That's fine. Draw back this bottom right-hand quadrant here. 7 goes in the bottom left. Cool. So honestly, a stop shot's fine. Pinch off this a little bit. Anywhere in here is good. Then you're on the proper side of the 8. If I draw back too much and I get close to the long rail, then I'll just back cut the 8 to send me towards the 9. But I'm going to dog the 7 ball to try to get too cute on the 8. That stings. Yeah, look at the ceiling. All the answers are up there. Ah, catching up though, guys. Look, he goes pretty thin off the 7. He's got that back cut on the 8. You just kind of pop this in, throw your body at it. Just roll through this, and he snags an easy 4 points. All right. Tough one, man. 2, hand flip. 4, 5, 6, 7. So he made 2 on the break. Have a lot of work to do. Have to get to 66. But thankfully, he doesn't have great options here. Hand flip, hand flip. That's a good play. I mean, the one played great off the 6. I don't know if that was the intention. Maybe the play was that he was trying to play the combo. But it's a good result. Must have an edge on the 1. I'm shooting straight at it. Mhm. It's not bad. I think leaving the 1 in here would have been better. Just kind of squat it in the middle of the short rail. So does he play the 6? Probably does. It's what, 20, yeah, 21 points. Oh, it didn't go. Give me that 1 ball. All right, let's make something happen here. How do I get down on the 2? I don't think the 2 goes in the bottom right or the top right. I should be able to cut this in the side. Am I drawing off this? Oh, I decided to play safe and just kind of hide the 1. I don't mind that because the offense didn't have much of a future. I left him a look at the 1, but he's just never going to win the game from here. So basically, he just sort of comes thin off the 1 and tries to put the cue ball back up here. It's a good little exchange. Does he get there? Looks like it. Have an edge on the 1 again, though. Probably play this, then send the cue ball back up table. Oh, I did not have an edge. Tried to spin into it. That's tough. Two still locked up. I guess that's the problem. Can he put the cue ball down near the 9, come off the 1 and break it up. That would be the aggressive play. Or just focus on making the 1. I don't think the 2-4 is wired. Looks like it's off. Yeah, he's gonna end up probably having to just make the 1 and play safe off the 2. Oh, he tried it. Tried to hit it. And he's hooked, unless he's got a really thin edge on the 2. If he does, it's very, very thin. Kick into it. Those off angle spin kicks are tough, like what I tried on the 1, where you're coming this way with a lot of right hand spin. Better off going straight at it, but misses him. This is a cool situation too. I remember my shot here. You could start from below this and come off the 2 and then try to send the cue ball up table, but you're always going to move the 4 off the 2 and you're very likely to leave a look at the 2. So instead, I decide to go thin off the left side of the 2 and wedge him under the 9 ball here between the 9 and the short rail. And these are very touchy. It also requires some spin, but you're going really thin into that 2 ball and then letting the spin kind of curl him under there. And the 2 ball's open now. It looks like it's wedged up on the 4, but the 2 goes in the top left. So if I get ball in hand, I just have to figure out the 2 to the 3. Kicking at, yeah, this is just a tough kick. We end up going through him. Good effort. Here's another cool shot. So the 2 only goes in the top left. I look at, consider some other options here, just make sure that it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't throw. I don't really want to have to play safe again, because I could certainly put the cue ball down here, shoot the 2 ball into the rail up table, and just lock him behind the 4. But I've got a play now. I've got an offensive play. I'm going to rip this back with draw to where it hits the rail, pretty much where I'm queuing, and then bounces back across for the 3. Those are so fun. And I'm not super straight. Give me a point. Pay attention, Anthony. I'm not super straight on the 3, so I can go to either side. I could play over here to play the 4 in the top left. Their preference, I guess, but it appears the 4 goes in that corner. See where I end up going. Could have used a bit more on that one for sure, but this works. It's thin, but these league cut diamond tables play so easy, uh, especially compared to how my home table was. This one goes in for me. And I'm starting to flow now. Watch my pace change. I don't really follow my standard pre-shot routine. I just kind of take this 5 ball for granted. I'm always going to get on the 7 and dog it. Remember that feeling too that I was like, okay, I'm flowing, I'm getting into a rhythm. This is starting to feel good. I'm gonna like put some together now. And all of that was coming up instead of the standard practice. And that's part of why it's just like a gem, like so valuable that that happened during this mini. I'm so glad it happened before Masters play because then I was like, that's something. I got to pay attention to that. But look at this. How does that not go? Did not expect to get that back. Take these 4 points and get into the next rack. That helps a lot. He might have done the same thing, right? Take that 5 for granted. A little sort of spinny shot off the 6. You can't really go rail first here, so just go full into the 6 with spin. Float back over for the 9. Doing kind of a weird, like I'm bringing the side pocket into play in this rack though. Look at this. Tracking, 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 boop. I end up figuring that out too though. It's another good thing about having this mini under my belt before I went out with the big dogs. I give him a little tap because by rights that should not have been an out. Did I break? No, I made one. Offense is available, but there's no future, right? Probably just look at rolling the one down because the one goes on the left side. With the cue balls tracking away from the two, you're just always going to hide yourself. I just send the one down, but I put it kind of over the pocket. I don't love that. Scoreline is almost level. He needs 20. He's able to get at it rail first, but does not make contact. Sends me back up table, which is good for him. Can swerve at this, or maybe the two rail is available. I might be able to get into this window. That's probably my best bet. Yeah. Maybe the natural line is close to the three. This is good. I slowed it down. I'm using my technique. You got all these skills, bro. Just use them. Yeah. Sweet. Good things can happen when you make the right choice. Got a tough kick here and just not a lot of. Oh, so close. Yeah. That was a really good attempt. With some pace too, right? Because you got to make something happen. This situation here, you can make the one. I'm looking at what happens if I get below the two. Can I make anything happen from down there? Not really. I think what I end up going for is to power draw into the seven and the two, to break it up. This is risky though, guys, because if you hit the seven full, you're blocked. So you have to try to play to hit the seven on the left or right hand side. I like the left hand side. Yeah, that's the thing. It would have been very nice to have had that one ball go in or the two ball go in because I'm on the three. Just hit the seven two full. This kick is touchy. The line is right on the nine and the six. I might be able to shoot above the nine with some spin. I'm off the rail enough that I can spin it. I'm just getting down on it. I gotta do something here. Gotta shoot. Good play. Get out of there. Cool. Yeah, that one, I need more practice with it, but I've gotten somewhat proficient, I'll say, with offset kicks. I'll use my system, and if that natural line is not available, how do you compensate with some spin? It's really touchy. I don't know if there's probably a system for it. Like X tips of spin equal this amount of diamonds or something. Play. Trying to bust out the six and the nine, but I make it worse. And I get on the funny side of the four. If I were here, I could play that same kind of draw stroke into the six and the nine, but it's not available. So what do we do, Anthony? Probably something crazy. I'm probably going to back cut the four and draw under the six and the nine. That's totally what I'm doing. It's like I know this guy. Around the eight, into the nine. Hit it pretty good. Didn't really get much out of it. That's a tough result. Yeah, I'm like right on the six. I don't know if I'm frozen on it or not, but what do you do here? Just thin it? You don't want to put the 6-9 in play for him. It's too thin to really get across table. If you bump it out too much and the cue ball goes up table, if the cue ball's up here and the six ball bounces out, then you're just selling out a shot on the six. I think the play is probably just thin it and put them on the short rail. Maybe the 6-9 lines up, maybe it doesn't, but it's at least that's it seems like the highest percentage. Just doesn't look like I can get him behind the 8 or anything. Thin him off the top side of the 6 and put him on top of the 9. No, I don't like that really. Yeah, I was looking at the path of the 6 coming back out. Put him off this way. Inside spin. What about like a lot of right hand spin? It doesn't do anything. Yeah, that I don't know. That's probably the best I could do. I was trying to just create distance and also push the 6 closer to the center of the short rail. He's just going to rifle this in. He's a good shot maker. Plays with the extension on his cue. Do you notice that? I've been thinking about experimenting with that. Got into that ball, hand flip. He thought he was going to scratch, I guess. But he's okay. I don't think he's behind the point. Ooh, he's able to get a lot out of that. I remember at this point in the match, it's just kind of coming back to me. I remember feeling pretty bad. I remember feeling like, geez, I'm going to lose this first one. I'm going to get knocked out of this mini in round one. And this guy's just like running over me. I was playing okay, right? Like nothing crazy was happening. I think I just needed big hands. He thought he was going to scratch again. Yeah. Uh, I was just in that position where I'm kind of waiting for him to make mistakes, which is certainly part of it, right? But you don't want to rely on that. I guess a better way of saying it is I was not capitalizing on his mistakes as effectively as I needed to. Because you're certainly giving me chances. But he's closing in. He needs 15. I just sort of float this under the 5. Pretty good. Don't leak out. Ugh. Think about the cue ball, man. Just hide the cue ball. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta work on it. I'm flustered. Figure it out though, guys. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see the difference. I start to come back down. Sent it at the 4. The 1 goes somehow, and he gets shape on the 2. 3 is a little touchy. Doesn't easily lead to the 4. You'd have to get really sweet on the 3 to come back out for the 4. But this worked out pretty well. He went after the combo and the 1 rolled through. He plays to sort of backside of the window here, which is always a good idea when the window's thin. A lot of foot traffic. This is the tough part though, because he's on the rail. He can't really spin away from this. He's got to go through it. Nice. He's able to use the 7. That's well played. use the 7 as a blocker. He's on the 4, and I think he's sort of under it. He's got a little bit of an angle, so he should be able to stun and or spin off this 4 ball to come up table for the 5. And he could play to either side of the 5. The question is, how do you get on the 5 to send you towards the 6, right? You have to preserve that angle too. Or draw. Got an angle on the 5. Come out 2 rails on the left side here. Yeah, not bad. Little thin on the 6. It's a bit steeper than he probably wanted. Stays safe. Sends the 6 up. It's a good little run. Smart play on the 6. No reason to attack that. So you could hide the cue ball or the 6 under the 8. That's the immediate thing that occurs to me. Cue ball can come off this side of the 6, and you put them over here. 6 goes to the opposite side of the table, maybe into the 9. Or you play to, cue ball off this side. The 6 goes into that spot. These are so important to practice. I go for cue ball. Under hit it. That's frustrating. I guess that's the risk of playing cue ball, right? Is this the 6 was always going to roll into the 9. He's got a 6-9 combination in the side. Combos are always tough. Chance he misses this. He needs 10 points. He needs 32. Oh, and he gets them. 2 points. Oh, but he scratches. Amazing. Amazing turnout. I had no idea. I forgot that happened. Is this the turning point? You better take a deep breath, dude. This is a connect the dots out. Stop shot, draw. Long bridge. I'm just trying to settle. Oh, give me a point. No. Stop the ball. Oop. Draw back. You can play this off the long rail if you got a little funny. Does not have to be perfect here. Okay. Grab these two. Really need them. Nice. Right. Let's see. Made some on the break. No, I didn't. Didn't make any. Good play. Was able to hide the 1 pretty effectively. Put me right up on the 4, 2. I think it's the 4. It's a very good play. He doesn't need that much anymore, right? So just keep me away from him. Kind of a tough kick. It's there, but the problem is, it's awkward queuing, stretching, and over a ball. Oh, all right. Take that. It's not terrible. It's better than ball in hand. Didn't miss it by much. I was trying to make that ball, but play safe again. An offensive there is not terrible, but yeah, might as well. Ball in hand is always going to be better. This is something else about my game too that's really evolved. I'm not like getting upset about somebody playing safe. I'm not sure that was ever really a problem, but I would certainly notice it sometimes, and I'm just not noticing it as much. It'll happen, and I'll be like, all right, cool. Chance to practice my kicks or whatever. Just have to reframe it, right? Construe that as an opportunity. Something good can happen. Hey, whoa, stream got a little choppy. So the two plays fine. The problem is, how do I get on the three? Am I spinning back around to try to stay above it? That works. Don't know if that's what I played. That's what I played. That's pretty sweet. Maybe the idea was just coming back around and trying to get under the three. Uh, Not sure, but certainly part of the game too, right? Like, something good can happen if you're playing confidently. I like this play. Speaking of confidence, I like that play because I needed to move the seven to free up the five. I've got kind of a weird play on the four from here. It's thin, but I do think I can cheat this and spin around, putting this in the right hand side, low left, laying it as full into the side as I can. I should be able to come down between the seven and the six, if not around the seven. That might even be available depending on how full I can get into the four. That's riskier than just coming between the six and the seven, but it's probably there. Yeah, that's full. Came into the five, which I'll take that too. Guaranteed I'm not getting the score right. I feel like I've missed some balls. Getting close to leveling it out, though. Should just be able to, yeah, roll this in, get a look at the six, maybe play the 6-9. Safe is probably better here, unless the six goes clean. It's hard to tell. If the six goes, then it's pretty natural to go down and back for the seven. No, it must not go. Combo's tough. I can play in the combo. Two-way. So with that one, I was basically just gauging where the six was going to end up with a chance of making the nine. So that, whoa, sorry about the table, guys. Uh, yeah, I've got the table mounted tripod. So anytime that gets bumped or somebody puts something down or who knows. But yeah, the two-way, you make the nine, you win. Uh, Gauge where the six is going to go for the combo. Give me a shot, Christian. Need more. Okay. Did it pretty well. I wonder if he was actually playing that bank or if it was also a two-way, right? He plays the bank and plays safe behind the seven. That's just good nine ball. I might be able to get at this rail first. I really need these. I think that point on the rail is available without having to sort of swerve into it. And there's a lot of table open that gives me a look at the seven. Nice easy speed, let the spin take that in. Good one. Little help from the nine. I'll take that. We definitely take those. Awkward cut on the seven, either way. Cutting it to the top right means you're going into the long rail and back out potentially. Cutting it to the top left is something only a wild man would do. I like it, apparently. It's technically the closer pocket. You have to hit this pretty good though. It's coming across. Yeah, I got into it pretty good. Got funny on the 8, though. I needed to just be below the 8. Ideal would have been stop shot on the 8, stop shot on the 9, but now I'm below the 8, so I have to roll this in, and the cue ball is gonna go down towards the top right, away from the 9, which is gross, or I come all the way around, or wrap around the 9 ball here. Regardless, I leveled out the score. Don't sit right on it. All right. This is a bank. I remember what I do here. I'm not going to tell you. You have to watch. I think I needed to just let my stroke out a little bit. Look at this, guys. I'm trying to cut it in the bottom right and beat the scratch. Not a thing. That's not a thing, man. So he gets those two. Leveled out the score. He needs 8. I need like 19. Can't get the break to work. I'm on the 1, but I don't really have a good option for the 1. I got to try to hide the cue ball. Come thin off it and put him down in the cluster. Sort of swerve off this a little bit, maybe. Yeah, it's not a bad play. Maybe kind of a two-way to go after the 9. I don't think the 9 goes, but it's a good play. There's a lot of traffic down there. You can just go long rail first, kick into this, pace, make something happen. Oh, something happens, but it's not what he was hoping. Starting to shift. You see it in these longer sets. There's always swings. With ball in hand, I have to try to get under the 2. I could certainly play for up here and just go after the 2-7-9 situation. So, admittedly, it's riskier to try to play off the 1 and get into this tiny window, but I need the points, right? And you're trusting your game now because my mentality's starting to shift. I just know that I'm going to be able to get on that 2 ball. Played that pretty well. A little funny on the 2. A little weirder than I needed to be. So I think, I don't know, looking back, maybe the play was just make the 1, make the 2-7-9, take those 3 points, get into the next rack. But it's just a gamble, it's kind of like a greedy thing. I try to get too cute on this 3 ball. And dog the 2. So annoying. I just hit it bad. Go in on a valley table. Gotta try to cut this in. I got a roll here for sure. I left him pretty tough. Queuing over the 3 and a thin cut on the 2. It's just never gonna go. Yeah. And he sets me up for a 2 ball. Swinging. It's swinging, guys. I get pretty tidy on this 2 ball. Basically just a stop shot to line up the 3-7-9. Not much else I can do here. I think I start to get a little smarter in the sense that I'm not just trying to go for wild points. I'm taking what's there, which is really what I needed to do from the 1. One day I'll figure it out. Or I won't because I'll just never play APA 9 ball again. And who's the real winner? Grab these 2 points. Don't do anything dumb. Just shoot it in. That works. 15 points. Scratch on the break. Ah, That was not happening very much while I was in Vegas. This is so tough, guys, because he could just win from here, right? He needs 8. Yeah, 4 ball's tough. I like this choice. You could either roll into them to break them up or to roll towards the short rail, the top short rail, get under the 4. Makes that. Need 7. Should just be a stop shot here to get on the 5. Not that one. Just a real thin touch here. Roll this in, float back out for the 6. Starting to sweat. He needs 5. I need 15. No way, dude. No way. What an outcome. Clean these up. That's going to help a lot. So played that to come back out and around. I like that choice because you have a lot of table available to you to get on the 7. Probably could have played short side on the 7, right? Like keep the cue ball over here. Just be a stop shot here. The combo's not too tricky. It's really just a matter of where is the 10 going to go. You have to control for that to some extent so that you know how you're going to get from the 10 to the 14. But in this case, the combo lines up really well. It's very makeable 12. The 10 should roll down towards that bottom left corner pocket. And if I have some kind of angle, sweet, I should be able to just roll around 2, 3 rails, float down for the 14. This is a very common shot, with a hanger, and you need to just spin around, make sure that you're avoiding scratches, get tidy on this 14 9 ball. Do for that. So the scoring was definitely off somehow. Uh, I remember getting up for that break shot and knowing that I needed 3 on the break. Um, yeah, if you like it, like, comment, and subscribe. The scoring was definitely off. Maybe there was some footage missing, or maybe there were just mistakes. Certainly, I could have been making mistakes here doing the video or at the table, but I do remember for sure that when I got to the table for that last break shot that was in the video, I know that I needed 3, and I made 3 on the break. So at any rate, I got what I needed while I was at the table according to the scoring at the table between both players. So apologies for any mistakes that might have been here in my commentating, which, like I said, is certainly possible. And then there was some weirdness at the table too. But at any rate, I got that one. We shook hands, had a good match, and he was telling me that he would, love to play me again sometime. He was like, "I got action with you for whatever you want, anytime." And I was like, "Okay." So maybe I'll run into him again at some point. But nevertheless, this was the round one of the mini tournament. Unfortunately, the second round didn't work out. The streaming cut out. Connection was really bad. And then I think my phone was dying or something like that. But I got wiped out. Just so you guys know, I got into that second round. I played another skill level 9, and I just like didn't get a look at the table. It was a lot of I didn't. Yeah, I just like didn't have great options. He was up like 40 points to 5, and he would break and hook me, or he would play a good two way, and I wouldn't have any good options. Like he played very very well to his credit. It had nothing to do with him getting lucky or anything. He's a very good player. And then all of my chances were just like not great chances, which happens. So I walked away from that one not feeling upset at all. I was like, cool, I got my first win, and I learned a lot from this match, this first round against Christian, and took that into Masters. So stay tuned. That will be coming out soon. I have some Masters play from the World Championships that will be coming out in the next few weeks. But I'm happy to be back. Thanks for checking me out, and you'll be seeing me again soon.